Mr. Panetta, in 2009, as director of the CIA, you gave the order to the agency to close the black site prisons. Mr. Trump now is reportedly reviewing those black sites and enhanced interrogation techniques, or torture if you call it that. Do you think that would be good for America's national security?
I think it would be a serious mistake to take a backward step on those issues. The reality is we really don't need the black sites. We don't need to use enhanced interrogation in order to get the information that is required. General Mattis believes that. I think others in the intelligence business believe that. The FBI believes that. So I think it would be a mistake to go back to that, and I think it could be damaging in terms of our image to the rest of the world.
In an interview with ABC News, Mr. Trump appears to have said that whilst he was surprised that General Mattis, the new defense secretary, does not think that enhanced interrogation techniques, torture, work, he has spoken to people in the intelligence community in the past 24 hours who have a different opinion, and he's very much leaving it on the table. What do you make of these differences of opinion in the administration?
Well, it's hard to know what exactly is going on within the president's mind right now. You know, he's talked about going back to torture, but I think a lot of people regard that as not only a violation of our values in this country, but a violation of the Constitution. So I think it would be a mistake, in fact, to even raise the possibility that we would go back to those methods. The reality is that we have been successful at being able to get the intelligence that we need in order to protect this country. We haven't had another 9/11 attack since 9/11. We've been able to protect this country. We've been able to do what's necessary in order to deal with terrorism. And we can do it not only in ways that protect our security, but that also protect our values.
But even you yourself have at times suggested that some of the information that America has got on planned terrorist activities came from these methods of interrogation. You've left that door open yourself, haven't you, that some of these methods may work?
Well, the reality is that in the process of conducting some of these interrogations, there's no question that information was produced, how valuable it was, how much of an impact it had, whether we could get it from other sources is a real question. My view is that when President Obama, in his executive order, said that we would not continue enhanced procedures, that we would not engage in torture, that was a very important step for this country to take because it was a symbol to the rest of the world that we're going to adhere to our values and to what we believe in. And so I think that is the proper course for the United States to take. To go back on that, to resurrect all of those procedures again, I think would be damaging, not only to our image in the world. I don't think it would be effective in terms of our ability to protect the security of our country.
Mr. Panetta, are you worried about the direction that Donald Trump is taking the United States?
Well, I worry that that the president needs to understand that as president of the United States, he should stay focused on the most important issue, which is protecting our country and protecting our values as a country. I think it's a little dangerous when he starts to imply that we're going to do things that that we've recognized were wrong steps to take in the past, and to suddenly engage in that kind of controversy when we have to deal with threats in the world. We have to deal with terrorism. We have to deal with Russia. We have to deal with China. We have to deal with North Korea. We have to deal with cyber attacks in this country. There are a lot of threats facing the United States. It just seems to me to be a huge waste of time to divert our attention to some of these efforts that he's talking about, when frankly his attention ought to be devoted to how do we counter our adversaries in the world.
Leon Panetta, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.